episode number 23 of the Life Mod podcast with Dr. Gonzalez. I am Dr. Gonzalez.
I am Chaunce Hayden.
Hi, Chauncey.
Hey, pleasure to be here. I'm looking at the screen. We look like salt and pepper. Obviously, I'm the salt.
I'm the pepper.
You're the pepper.
I like this new. We should really bank on this.
Yeah.
This is gonna be big. The Howard Stern Robin, the Johnny Carson.
We are
McMahon.
Batman and Robin.
Batman and Robin. Chauncey, Dr. Gonzalez.
Mutt and Jeff.
We are very excited to have you back again. This is probably the fourth time you've been on our show?
I think it's been 4 times. Yeah, very exciting.
Yeah, we've done, for those of you who follow us, and we have, I want to just thank everybody for the following, because we've gotten a nice little following going now.
Your recent shows have really been great, by the way. The last one at the Artisan in Hawthorne, New Jersey, with the fireplace in the background, was genius.
If you haven't looked at that yet, you definitely need to go on. I think we're both iTunes and Podcast Republic, and we're also on YouTube. But the last podcast, which was episode 23, was the Life Mod podcast with Dr. Gonzalez Artisan Bar and Kitchen show. And for those of you who haven't seen it yet, we basically talked to the co-owners, Jeff Wozniak and Chef Howard, I guess it was, right?
Yep.
And you recorded that podcast.
I did record it. I don't want to give myself credit, but let's give myself some credit, because that really did look great. But no, everybody did a great job. You were great. They were great. The place is beautiful. The food amazing, and you even did a dinner with the doc that evening, so you spent a lot of time there.
We spent a lot of time there, and that was a very popular podcast, and actually it's a great segue for what we're going to talk about today, because what we thought we'd do today is talk about choices. And for those of you who've been following us, and if you haven't yet, please look at our previous podcast on what Life Mod is and what the Life Mod way is, and the Life Mod philosophy. It literally is a way. It is a philosophy, and it's a fire now. It's a little fire, and it's growing. We're now not only in 2 offices in the New York City area. We have 3 offices in New Jersey. We are exploding, and I guess sometimes you think that it's not happening fast enough, but it's actually happening very fast.
And can I ask you a question?
Sure.
You say the Life Mod philosophy. What exactly? I have my interpretation, but since you are Life Mod, what is the Life Mod philosophy?
Right. That's a really good question. Do you have 3 hours?
We have all the time in the world.
And it's funny because Chauncey definitely knows the answer to this, because he is a Life Mod member. But it's good that you're asking me, so that I can kind of, because we've done so many topics, podcasts on Life Mod. It is very simple. The Life Mod philosophy is basically giving every single person that joins Life Mod the ability to change their lives, and that's really the bottom line. It's the way we do that's completely different than any other program, because what we do, as you know, we give you so much information about yourself that you would have never had that before. I guarantee you. I don't care what doctor you've been to before. The information that we give you here is what is the critical element of changing your life. And I will tell you that if you do not know everything about your body, you cannot fix it. You cannot fix a broken car a car if you don't know it's broken, right?
Right. So it's individualized. So when I ask a question, what's the Life Mod philosophy? It really it depends on your lifestyle. Because it's so individual.
Absolutely depends on your lifestyle, but it's that gathering information phase for Life Mod that is really, really crucial. And you know this. Yep. Not only do we do an extensive lab work on every single person that comes to our program, we do blood type diet. We put you on our amazing machine, the InBody machine.
The InBody machine.
InBody machine is scary to a lot of people. For those of you who don't know, it really is. People freak out coming here. They actually, in fact, I think we haven't seen you in a while because you're afraid of the InBody.
I'm afraid of the InBody. I'm very afraid of the InBody machine. There's no reason to be. I think it's just a phobia. But really, it's just like getting on a scale.
It is.
But only, instead of just giving you your weight, it gives you like 1,000 other things about yourself.
And that's the key to the Life Mod way. We look at you. We look at how you live your life currently, and we gather and grab all the information that we can. Blood work. your in-body, your body composition, your blood type, your dietary habits, your individual daily lifestyle habits, and we put those all together into our proprietary program software that we have, and come up with an amazing program to change your life.
Do you think part of the fear of the in-body is that people are afraid of the information? Because it's so much information about yourself that it's all, and as a physician, you must hear this. People, it's almost like don't ask, don't tell. People are afraid of what they're going to be told.
That's right. And that's exactly right. They are afraid because of that. We've had a lot of people who, this is one of our we don't have problems with LifeMod in terms of getting people in because they're very excited about what, they're doing. And they immediately start seeing changes in their life. But the in-body is very scary. Let me tell you, let's go through that really quickly. Not only do we get your weight, right? We should have brought up your in-body.
Oh no!
But we're not going to.
My last one was much better than previous. So
thank you.
It shows LifeMod's working for me. But what I thought, some of the things that it tells you that I thought were fascinating is how much water you drink. It knows how hydrated you are.
Right.
Which is fascinating.
Yeah, it does what's called ECT and TW, which is total body weight, or TBW, which is your total body weight and your extracellular body weight in your body. So it actually can tell the difference between water that is in your cells as opposed to water that's circulating around in your gut, for example, or in your bladder. So that's amazing because I can tell how dehydrated or hydrated you are, one. The other thing that scares people is that we do segmental, not only segmental fat analysis, but segmental muscular analysis.
Well, it's that first one that you just discussed that I remember when you gave me my results that I found so scary, but at the same time so important. The one where you actually can tell how much fat is around your organ tissue.
That's it.
And that's the one, tell me if I'm correct, that you told me, I believe, really dictates your longevity in life.
That's it, because it's the amount of fat that you have around your heart. And the amount of fat that you have around your liver, and I guarantee you guys, for those of you who are listening to us, look, we're throwing the word in-body out there, but there's a lot of composition machines. So the key is knowing that having somebody in your program or in your office that is able to interpret the information, and that's the key. So I'm not, I want you to think that in-body is the only one. I really do think it's the best one. We have the best machine, body composition machine, but the amount of fat that you have around your heart and around your liver and your organs is so indicative of your current health status. And if you have a lot, it really tells me where you're at in terms of health.
It gets you on the right path. If you the one thing that your intake staff shared with me when I first came here is that it's better to know, let's go over your results. Better to know and correct it than to ignore it and have it get progressively worse.
Absolutely.
So part of this whole LifeMod program, which I think is terrific, is that it stops the bad habits almost immediately. Day one, the bad habits stop. You know what they are, and you have to start somewhere. And at that moment, life begins to change.
That's awesome.
It's great, and part of that is that little device you got back there, that crazy machine, because it really gives you an honest assessment of where you're at and how to fix it instantly that day. So that's what I thought was most helpful to me.
And the thing, too, that is really amazing about that machine is that every single time that we see you, you get back on that machine, and it gives you a graph. We're able to give you a graph of your performance. And that's why people get it. Some people are very afraid of the machine, and then there's other people who are very addicted to the machine because they want to kind of do it every day. And I'm like, well, it's not you're not going to change.
Well, you know what? I can elaborate on that. If you've been sticking to the program, if you've been working out, eating properly, hydrating yourself, you want to get on it every day.
Right.
If you fall off the ladder, there are times if I go a week and I had a rough week at work and I know I wasn't drinking enough water, I wasn't sticking to my exercise routine, I'll kind of run past your front door because I don't want anybody to know I'm walking by because I don't want to get on that machine. But if I'm really doing well, I almost insist that you let me come in and test myself.
That's right.
Because I know it's going to give me great results.
Right. Absolutely.
That's the beauty of it.
And you know, the beautiful thing about this, when we talk about this, for those of you who are listening right now, you might be thinking, well, is it that different from one day to the next? The answer to that is not really. What happens is that if you've drank a lot of water or you haven't, that might skew the weight and the BMI a little bit. But otherwise, it is so good at measuring, your fat analysis. Now, this is what I was going to tell you. Segmental fat analysis is another thing that this machine does. And that is where it shows you how much fat you have in your left arm compared to your right arm, and your left leg compared to your right leg.
Crazy.
It is crazy. And if anything, if you guys out there for sure, if you're in the Northeast region, we have offices all over the Northeast. If you want to pop in and do one of these tests, I mean, it's really easy to do. You can also call us and we can figure out where you live, and we can figure out where there is or there may be an InBody machine there, so that you can actually go and do it there. The InBody machine is just the one thing that we do at LifeMod that's different. It's a very small part of the big picture, and I am so excited about what's happening with LifeMod. I just came from San Diego. Did you know I was there?
I did know you were in San Diego. I don't think I know why you were in San Diego, but I know you were in San Diego.
People think that I just travel all over the world and just vacation. It's not that. I wish it was. I did actually go to a small vacation to New Mexico, where my mom and dad still live, and my sister and my brother-in-law, and had 4 days off there in terms of amazing food. I can show you pictures of my dad's garden and the morning
LifeMod approved.
Yeah, oh totally. Well, absolutely, of course. And that's part of the LifeMod way. It's the way you live your life that really determines where you are in terms of health. But the reason I'm saying all this is that from New Mexico and San Diego. In San Diego, I went to the American College of Sports Medicine conference. Every year they have it every different places in the country. And this year, obviously, was in San Diego. Boo-hoo. Of course, poor me in San Diego.
Difficult life.
Life. But one of the things that I came away with the ACSM, and I'm a big member of the ACSM, have been for a long time, is that we have with LifeMod. ACSM is the American College of Sports Medicine.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and
I'm slow. I'm slow on the uptake. So
no worries. I didn't even tell you what it was. That's actually a good thing about the podcast is you guys know that we talk about things that we think about right now.
Right.
And even though we have really good topics to talk about, this is important because it shows that we are having a conversation about this. But ACSM is a conglomeration of sports medicine and physicians who are obesity management physicians from all over the world were there. And we talked about LifeMod there. And the reception was unbelievable.
People were impressed. Yeah.
Because what we're doing is completely different. So anyway, I just wanted to kind of throw that out because I think that you asked me the philosophy, and we're not only revolutionizing people's lives. I know you're a LifeMod member, and we're so happy. How long have you been?
Over a year, I would say.
Yeah, definitely
and a few months now. Yeah.
And just so before we wrap up this podcast,
sure.
Give us, tell us, what you.
The millions listening.
The millions listening. There are millions. What your life has been like since you joined LifeMod.
Well, I'll tell you. Yes, my life has changed for the better. Obviously, I've lost weight. I feel better about myself. I'm more aware of what I do and why I do things when it comes to eating, exercise, and sleep and hydrating, all that stuff, right? But really, while I have you here, what I'd like to ask you, and one of the things that I find not to be problematic, but something I think needs to be talked about, I get very comfortable with certain foods. I'm afraid to go outside that comfort zone. So, for instance, I know I'll get up in the morning. May I just tell you my diet real quick?
Yeah, please, actually.
So in the morning, I'll wake up and I'll have a cup of coffee with skim milk, a bowl of Life cereal, and I don't know. It's called Life and LifeMod. So I figured it's almost LifeMod. So I have a bowl of Life cereal. And I'll make sure I drink a big water, and then for the next hour I won't have anything, and then around 10 o'clock I'll have an apple, and then at noon I have my lunch, which will it might be a fat-free turkey dog with no bun or anything. Good. Maybe I'll have 2 or 3 of those, and I'll cut up some cucumbers and have that for lunch.
Right.
Then I'll have some nuts, some almonds for a snack between lunch and dinner. And then dinner, I have tilapia fish or Cajun catfish, a baked potato, and some salad, with tomatoes and cucumbers in it. And then I have one of those fat-free double chocolate puddings that come in a little cup before I go to bed, and then I'm done. But my problem is that's what I have every day, and I get too comfortable. I feel like I get too nervous to stray from that. So my question is, what are some options? Like, what can I do and not go down the wrong path and substitute a lot of this stuff? Because I think it gets redundant after a while.
Right. Well, and you, we're creatures of variability in terms of food. You're supposed to be eating all sorts of different kinds of foods, and so that would totally get redundant. One of the things that we do, and this, is that we do blood type diet. Now, what's your blood type? You remember? A positive.
Right? A positive.
Yes. We give you a sheet that kind of gives you all of the options of your dairy options. What people who have a type A blood type are able to eat from meats, from poultry, from seafood. So in that variability, you haven't been looking at that sheet very much, I think, because you're only eating tilapia. You can eat more things.
I know I can. I know I can.
But no, it's a great point. I know you know your variability, but we're trying to make a point here. There are so many options for you, and you have to remember that part of our human design is that we are supposed to eat a lot. And one of the things that we do at LifeMod for our members is that we have our staff on coaches on board who are nutritionists, and they will sit down with you and devise variability in your daily eating habits so that you don't get tired. And that you don't, get on this rut.
I think that's the biggest problem for me, and I'm sure there are others, because like you say, we are creatures of habit, and you say, well, I know this works, and I know I have to buy my salad, I have to buy my fish, I have to buy my life cereal box, I have to buy my apples and I just want to become more adventurous when it comes to food. I don't want to become a prisoner to a diet or certain specific foods. I want to be able to expand.
Right. And the problem is that because you've lost weight and because you feel better, you are very hesitant to change your diet, right? Because you're like, this works for me. This really worked for me. That might be a caller.
We have a caller.
Maybe we have a caller. Why not? By the way, if you do want to call us in, we are going to start doing that. So we'll give you that information in a little while. But
that's exciting.
Yeah, that is exciting. A call-in show with Chauncey and Dr. Gonzalez LifeMod podcast. But anyway,
we'll need a phone screener. Trust me.
Oh, we have one already.
Oh, okay.
She's out there. Yeah. But we do teach everyone that we are about eating different kinds of foods, and we don't want people to get in a rut. And I am so happy that you brought that up, because people do feel that way because they start doing really well, and they're afraid that if they start changing their diet again, they're going to gain all that weight back, and they're going to feel the way they used to before.
Yeah, it's true. It's true. Yeah. So you're right. Guilty as charged. One of the things that you do for the members of LifeMod, you get a printout of a lot of the foods, not that only that you shouldn't have, but the ones you can have.
Right.
So I'm going to have to review that list again and get a little more experimental than what I've been.
Review that list. We're going to do that actually right after this podcast. We'll sit down and talk about it.
Sounds great.
I think we're going to wrap this up today. I hope that you guys found this interesting. The LifeMod philosophy, the LifeMod way. It is really taking wing in the Northeast region. We're going to come out with a book in November. The book is almost done. We're going to have an app soon. Please visit us at www.lifemod.com. And we're also going to start offering what we call our blueprint. I don't know if you knew this. Our blueprint assessment online at our website, and also in Amazon and all those places. You're going to be able to go in, pay for an assessment, the blueprint assessment. It's going to be very cheap. It's going to be very. We just want to get people involved actually immediately, and then they'll be able to call us for a very small price, and we're going to assess their lifestyle habits. And that's going to be available very, very soon, probably in a week or two.
Oh, no kidding.
So we're very excited on our website.
The website, what is
lifemod.com.
And it has the website has that little star.
No.
Oh, you just LifeMod.
Yeah, it's just lifemod.com, LIFEMOD.com. And we're on Twitter. Follow us on Twitter, and that's LifeMod NYC. NYC LifeMod.
And Facebook?
Both of them. And Facebook is facebook.com/LifeMod.
Here's a test. Do you know what your Instagram name is?
I don't.
I knew I'd catch you on
Do you
that.
know?
No.
Actually, no. You know what? I do. I thought you asked Pinterest.
No.
All this social media
Yes.
people. Our Instagram, Facebook page is NYC LifeMod.
You get it. You get an A+.
Yay!
Yay.
There is no
That's
way
great.
that you guys wouldn't be able to find us, obviously. And our phone number 855-710-5433. Again, this is the LifeMod show with Dr. Gonzalez.
Do you know my middle name?
No, I know. No, Steven?
No.
No. What is it?
That for another show.
Oh, that's. Now you're gonna have to stay tuned,
now
people.
you gotta stay tuned. Find out Chaunce's middle name. The next
awesome.
episode of Dr. Gonzalez
the LifeMod show.
Yeah.
Thank you guys, and I'll talk to you guys soon. All right, goodbye.